Welcome to Inside Champ Car. I'm Brian Belansky. Guy above me is Bill Strong. And the guy over here, Paulie Veltum, in the house.
Paulie.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Welcome to the
It's a
show.
long time since I seen you, Paul. Where you been, man?
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening. We've been busy. We've been going to races. It's been a busy summer, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot going on, a lot of exciting racing.
Cool.
Yep.
And some more exciting racing coming up, it sounds like.
Yeah. Some folks are headed off to the Landjäger Cup at Road America here this weekend, October 19th through 20th. Paulie is one of them.
Nice.
Towing the large semi-truck, media truck that Champ Car purchased about, 5-6 years ago? And headed out with all the TV gear.
The 53-footer?
Yep, with full production stuff in it. And it's only you doing it, right, Paul?
That's right.
Broadcasting this weekend in 8K.
8K. I don't know.
Very nice.
Yeah, 8K. That would be awesome, wouldn't it, Paul?
Well, it really would be, and I'm sure the folks at Road America would love that when they see that bandwidth hit the floor.
Or hit the ceiling, one of the two.
Of course, we'll be over satellite, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause that's the way we do it here at Champ Car.
That's the way we roll.
Trucking. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hey, Chelsea Vickery's the event director, race director this weekend at Road America. And just wanted to start this off by saying if you're going to Road America, please download the supplementals.
Yep.
And please click the link to the Road America speed waiver and fill that out. Before you go to the front gate, you're going to have to show them your speed waiver that you've signed it, and they will not let you in. This makes it so much quicker. You show them your speed waiver, they hand you a wristband at the front gate. Champ Car gives you their wristband, and boom, you're in, buddy.
Very cool.
Buddy. And, gates open for teams participating in the test at 5 p.m. on Thursday. And that's people that are, doing the test day can get in. And then between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. is registration for the Road America test day. I keep wanting to say Road Atlanta. The Road America test day. And that's who's putting on the test day on Friday. Now, for those not doing the test day, and you can get this all through the supplementals because always Champ Car has the supplementals.
Of course.
All that information is on there. At 1 p.m., they're going to, let me make sure they do this. Yeah, they're going to let you, I think they'll let you in for most of the day, actually, to check in, and registration for Champ Car opens up at 1 p.m. at the top of the hill in the registration. Supposedly we have 48 cars having to go through tech. So I would suggest you guys get up there quick. Pretty certain that all of our tech staff, I think most of our tech staff will be there. Get up there quick, and they'll get you through quick and have all your stuff, all your paperwork ready, all your online stuff ready, and get you through tech. Let's see. Gates open for teams not participating in the test day. 3 p.m. Well, so that's an advantage of getting in early on that test day. But we don't own the track, so we're up at we don't own the track on Friday, so that's up to the track itself. So 3 p.m., you guys will do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing some teching down outside the gate, but I won't be there. I'll talk to Chelsea about that.
Why not,
tomorrow.
Bill?
My son's getting married this weekend, and my wife said I could not go to a race. I tried, but my son seems to have the priority. Now, my daughter, but my son, Ian's got his. There's a few of you guys out there that watch my kids grow up through the years on Facebook and other social media platforms like MR2OC, and he's finally getting married. I think he's like 30 something now or 20 something. I don't know how old is he. What year is it? 23?
I don't know.
He's coming on 24 years old. So getting married, and it's going to be a fun day. Can't wait.
Very cool. Very cool.
But, in the background, I'm going to be watching a race, listen to Paulie. Have my little Bluetooth headset in.
Well,
we'll be talking smack about you. Don't worry.
Oh, that's okay.
And just as a suggestion to everybody, if you do need your car teched, and word has it on the street, there's quite a few. be as absolutely prepared and early enough that you can get it done, because there's going to be quite a line. It's going to take a while. So just so you know, it's going to be busy. Ray's going to be hopping. So
yeah, we got a couple more techs that we're flying in to help out on the weekend. So it should be good. Yeah, we should be okay. I know they were kind of freaked out there for a bit when we saw the numbers rise for this event, but hey, that makes it great. So, all right. So we got all that going on. Waivers, super important. Don't forget that. Download the SUPs. You can click where you download the SUPs on the ChampCar.org website under
you already
register.
said that.
Yep. Just download those. It's really important. Cannot stress that enough. We get so many people that show up to the track without doing those waivers, and they hold up the line, and yeah, that happens. All right. So Paul,
Yeah.
lots of cars coming to this event.
Yes. There are a lot of cars. There are a lot of cars coming to this event.
Yep. 68 registered.
Yeah, we're probably going to see, I would imagine, some more. So we're probably around that 70 entry, which is really great. In recent years, we've seen the numbers tip off a little bit. I loved us running Road America twice a year. It was great, but we started seeing some numbers drop, and we need the numbers. That's just the way it is. Personally, I think now, although Road America is it has a soft spot in my heart. I love Road America, and I would love to be able to do 2 races there a year. This is actually pretty good. I was pretty disappointed when it first came down that was going to be the way we were going to do things. Now I've kind of changed, because, to be fair, the early April race up here, up north, was not necessarily conducive to outdoor sports.
What are you suggesting?
It was pretty bad.
It is outdoor sports, but mostly the cold stuff with white stuff all around.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every time I showed up on Friday, it was snowing.
Yeah.
And, there's not a very good chance of that happening when you get into this October area. It's possible, but not as likely as early April. So it probably won't be as cold as it is in the beginning of the year. And look at the turnout, nearly 70 cars. This makes it really more fun, I think.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at the weather, but I'm assuming it's going to be pretty good. There's a lot of teams. There are teams here I've never even heard of before, and that's not uncommon. We typically have a number of cars that show up that haven't raced with us before, and being that we're going to be teching so many cars, that just kind of adds to it. A lot of ECs showing up, EC cars, which means, again, we've got several teams that have never been here before, so it's pretty exciting. We've got JSK, we've got Premium Dudes, Parts Badger's going to be there. Section 8's bringing all 3 of their cars. CU Boulder is bringing 3 cars as well. We're going to try to get a camera in one of those cars, and it's not all Miatas. So follow on mission I'm seeing there. We know that Timothy won't be there because he's putting a roof on his house or something important like that.
Good, bad, and ugly? Who are those guys?
Yeah, GBU. Not usually a threat out there, but obviously very fast. Loving to see the 280ZX. Glitter Dunn is bringing a 79 Datsun out there, and another team is bringing a 240SX. Fat Boy Racing, a 90 240SX. Going to be running EC, so they've probably got a 600 cubic inch engine in there or something. Like Bill said, it's probably a drift car, and they kind of fashioned it to run with us in ChampCar, which is great.
Cool. It'll be fun. They're fun cars to watch race, just like the Asteri Motorsports. Guess what he's driving this weekend?
MR2. And before you turn up your nose, we actually have had an MR2 win this race. Was it Scott Shea? Was that his name?
Yep, Skate. Yes, Ludicrous Racing. But they ran it with a V6. They ran a Toyota V6 in that. The new Asteri Motorsports car, I believe, has a Honda K motor in it. Sorry.
Oh, that's a much better choice.
Yeah.
So that they have a good option.
It might get to the end.
Well,
excuse me. Sorry, that hurt.
Hey, James Bondo's going to be back there. I always love seeing the TR7. So there's a lot of things to be excited about.
And Federer
Motorcraft is coming. And Federer coming with their Thunderbird too. That'll be awesome.
Federer Motorsports is coming all the way from Arizona. So that's a big trek for them going to the Great White North. And of course, Flying Ghost and the Hawk Performance BMW 328 with their EC car will be there. So yeah, it's going to be there's some big names here, man. Premium dudes. They have won this race before, haven't they?
I believe they have. I know that they've been a bridesmaid a number of times. This is not an easy race to win. Obviously, it requires a lot of motor, and it is a fairly technical racetrack, but it's definitely a put your foot down and go kind of racetrack.
There's also another. You're a big Nissan guy, so Two Brothers Racing. Never heard of them. Don't know much about them. No, I'm kidding. I was talking just a little bit ago. Two Brothers Racing. Yeah, they have a chance of winning this, and that Nissan is freaking quick. Didn't he win it earlier this year at Auto Club?
Yeah,
not Club, Autobahn at Autobahn Raceway.
Could be.
Yeah, they won at Autobahn. I think they finished second the next day, but they were a pretty dominant team when it's working. Do they have enough to catch the the GBU car? Because that's good.
I don't know that anybody really has enough to catch them. You just have to outlast them, and that's always been their Achilles heel, is they just have trouble with the durability side of things. So that remains to be seen for the Corvette. Can they hang in there?
Yeah.
Yep.
If they can, then they're going to be tough to beat, even with the extra pit stops. We've seen that before.
So two things on the weather. I was at Road America twice this year. In June, it was brutal washout deluge conditions for 2 of the 3 days. But then 2 weeks ago, in a very un-Wisconsin-like maneuver from Mother Nature, I was there for 8 days, and the weather was spectacular. It was windy on the weekend, but it was 70 degrees pretty much every day and sunny. And I was like, this cannot be. Did they teleport Road America and put it somewhere else in the country to get 8 straight days of great weather? So you might get lucky, hopefully, weather-wise. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm also seeing that Bandits Racing is going to be there, and Bandits is a fast race car. I didn't notice they were in this field. That changes things a little bit. Okay, they are a legit contender.
Oh, they are actually. Yeah, that's a D class car. It's not classified as D. We hope it's still D. For some reason, it's not collected there. But yes, traditionally fast, but they do have a limitation on fuel on that car, so that does hurt them a bit. They can turn up the horsepower on that carbureted V8. Unfortunately, they just don't have the big tank for this track, and that's kind of you're spending so much time on the high end,
right?
That may affect them. The same with GBU, even though GBU has whatever big tank that Corvette came with, it's still a limiting factor at this track.
So I mean, they're either going to have to go fuel conserve, which I've never seen them do, or they're going to be making pit stops every 20 minutes, which I have seen them do. So we'll see. The challenges are there. Is this an 8 and a 7?
Yeah, and that's what's going to help JSK, because JSK has won this many times.
They have, but they've also suffered engine failure multiple times, and so this track does tend to eat up engines on some cars. So they're going to have to. Hopefully, they can keep that power plant together, and then we'll really be able to see how things work out. But we've had Nissans win this race. The cars that hold together are going to be the ones that we'll see at the end. Obviously, that goes without saying. But the JSKs, that they have a real shot at winning this race if they can hold the engine together.
Well, I know I was talking to Alan Martin earlier this week or late last week, and we were talking about his Section 8 cars. He's bringing an a 2014 EC Ford Mustang along with his other Mustangs that he has, and he's planning on winning. Trying to put in a good spell at trying to win this with the 605D class car. But that'll be interesting to see how that 607 2014 Ford Mustang works out there as an EC car.
Other than Daytona, is there another track that you guys race at where you're on the full throttle for as long as Road America?
Road Atlanta on the back straight is pretty long. I mean, we actually picked up more. We had higher speeds there when we did at Road America.
Right, but
Road America has that hill, and we just didn't have the horsepower to get up the hill quick. So, yeah, and plus that turn one fence comes up on you pretty damn quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Just don't hit it, Bill.
I know. Just like those, at Charlotte, those big berms. Don't hit.
Just don't hit it.
Don't hit it.
Simple.
Right.
Why do we even need safer barriers? Just don't hit the wall.
No, well, let me tell you, safer barriers hurt, man.
But they hurt less.
I guess. Yeah, you think about it.
Yeah.
And then we have we also which one was it? Follow-on? Follow-on missions being in their Malibu SS. That's a fun car to watch out there. Those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Paul, you've raced there a lot, or you've done a lot of track time there. I've done 2 races, spent one of it like a quarter of the race in the garage trying to get our car working. But what is to you is the most technical part of this track?
I would say probably the thing that I see people struggle with the most is that last turn. And it's unfortunately the most important turn. So heading that 14, heading out onto the front straightaway is probably the most challenging to really get it right and feel like, yes, I got all of it. Some of the other turns can be a little tricky. The Corvette bridge there, I believe that's turn 6 for that left-hander to really get everything out of the car there. Some people have a little trouble with 3. But I think probably the turn 14 is just kind of awkward, the way that it's shaped. And for many of our cars, we really can't use the rumble strips at the exit. Now, some of them can. I've driven a car that could, and it was fantastic having that little bit of extra racetrack. So probably 14 is, the place where you really want to be focused on getting a really good exit and entering rolling speed through that corner. It's easy to overbrake.
I know 14. When I was there a bunch of years ago, this was before the repave. They've done a repave there, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So before the repave, I know that there were sections of the track that when it got wet, way different than it is dry. And if you got off into the stripes, the paint, then it really sucked.
Right.
We actually ended up breaking an axle I think it was either the Corvette bridge runoff or the next one down after Hurry Down. I think it was Hurry Down. As Mike Helm came off the rumble strip, he got a tire off into that paint. And as I guess one of the tires was spinning and he just broke the axle when it finally connected on the blacktop on the other side. And that's kind of one of those things you have to look out for is, when it's wet or damp, and that track can be pretty tricky.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I've heard it said it doesn't matter if you have a Ford 9-inch underneath there. When you have that sudden shock of that stop, it will break anything. And that exit of 8 is particularly violent if you get out far enough. The rumbles there are just as bad at the exit of 6 or 5, I believe it is. So it is really violent out there. And all that shock load just goes right into the drive line if you're on the power. So yeah, if you're on the power, and obviously if you hit some of that striping when it's wet, and then you get that sudden grip, you're looking to break stuff.
Yeah, the other problem with 14 is that people get so focused on 14 because it's so important that they kind of miss how important the run between Canada and 14 is. And if you do that run and 14 perfectly, it's magical. But a lot of people kind of throw away that little run between, and that's a hard section of corners getting up to 14 because they're so focused on we got to hit 14 properly because that's the most important one. But if you get that whole run from Canada Corner to 14 correctly, there's a lot of time to be made up between Canada Corner and 14 as well. So,
and you have to be careful too because some of these corners, I wouldn't say they're blind, but you could be carrying a lot more speed through there, and then all of a sudden you make that left-hander into the last corner or up into that area there, and all of a sudden there's slow traffic in front of you. That could really screw you up too.
Right.
So fun track to race on. It's very fast, very heavy on the brakes. I know people told us it wouldn't be all that hard on the brakes, but it was for us. And just a fun track, and it's fast. Yeah.
Well,
Now,
and you shouldn't forget about the danger of the kink, and
well, we don't run the Kink.
Oh, do you run the
We
chicane?
run the motorcycle track. Yeah, we run the chicane.
Very
So,
interesting.
yeah, we made that decision years and years ago, and we've stuck to it. There's been a few of us that said, "Yeah, I'm a man. I want to run the Kink," but then we see other organizations run it, and we see what happens, and we're like, "Nah, we like our guys to go to work on Monday," and that's because I mean, you were there a couple of weeks ago.
I was.
Brian, and we had some pretty big incidences over there, and not we, but
Right.
the organization we were working with.
We is the Racing Family Collective.
Yeah, and it's like every couple of months you hear some really big incidences there but the crazy part is I took Ray Frank out one time to show him the track, and it's hard for some of our staff to get actually out of the paddock and actually go out and look at the track. And he went out with me one morning to set up cameras for Paul, and we're walking out there over by the Kink, and he's like, "Holy crap." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Look at the skid marks.
Yeah.
Look at the marks on the wall. Look at the marks on the wall over there. Look at the skid marks leading up to those."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's pretty scary there."
And the problem isn't that the kink itself is bad. It's that if you have a problem in the kink, it's the cars that come through next that often can't see the problem, can't slow down because they're on it. And it's rarely the first car that spins that has the big problems, unless that car gets hit by 3 or 4 more cars, which is what happened at a couple of weeks ago. And so that I guess makes me feel better that you guys use the motorcycle, because as the old school die hard got to do the kink kind of guy, I'm beginning to kind of push myself towards the maybe the kink's not made for all types of racing and all types of racers.
Racer, yes, because Champ Car has beginners.
Right.
We're going to have people up here this weekend that have never been to a track like this, that have done the speeds that they're going to be doing. And you're going to have all kinds, and they're just focused on just getting through the corner without, causing somebody else a bad day.
Well,
so
I will say, though, that our incident was 2 of our very most experienced drivers who got into it. So it's not necessarily a new driver versus experienced driver kind of thing. But yeah, I applaud you for taking the safer road there.
Yeah, it's much better. I mean, I think about that. I'd really like to do a race with it, but then it's like, I don't know. I don't want to screw up my car. I don't want to screw up somebody else's car. And because it can happen. I mean, all it takes. So just going into Canada Corner, I lost a right front hub under braking under the old track. And because it was really bumpy right there. And I guess I bottomed and it snapped. And that was extremely scary, trying to take that corner as fast as we were going through there with 3 wheels. Luckily, it was the inside wheel that broke off, not the other 3.
Yep.
So, Paul, what is the easiest corner at Road America?
Well, I just think it's whatever corner you feel the most comfortable in, really. So it's because, as I said, when I first raced the Boxsters, I was racing there, and one of the senior drivers who was actually used to race in NASCAR said, "I just can't get 3. It's driving me crazy. I can't get 3 figured out." And I thought, 3 is a cakewalk. I can drive that without thinking, really. It's just whatever's corner is easiest for you, So
I think it's 2.
Not, I mean, for me, unfortunately, I've raced there for so many years, and it's a really straightforward thing for me. What's better is what's my favorite corner. That's what I want to talk about.
What is your favorite corner? Well, wait, before I say that, I want to bring up the fact that Chelsea's running this race, and Champ Car does have track limits. So Chelsea will be letting you guys know what track limits are. And track limits are not just the green stuff. It could be also the black stuff. They don't want you going off everywhere. We don't want to tear up this track. And we've done really well this year. We want to stay on the racing surface, which is in between the yellow lines. So, all right, Paul, what is your favorite part of this track?
Well, I'm seeing E.M. Jones was just saying turn 1 for me. But my favorite part of the racetrack section is turn 13, that whole run through Canada. You line up to the right, and it's just a gut check to go full throttle, bend into the turn, clip that apex right. You come over the crest, like you said, Bill, you don't really know what's over there, and the car just kind of floats out, so beautifully tracks out to the exit. And heading to hurry down at turn 7 is very similar to that. This is a track that flows well if you got the right car under you, and it can be magical. And that's the kind of thing a driver wants. You want to be on the throttle full, and you're just steering. The car is just barely hanging on, and yeah, you do have. That is a track limitation area. Both of those, you got to be super careful. There's a lot of guys that come through 7 a little too hot. You got a little bit of side load. Car goes all the way to the exit, and as soon as that tire starts to dip off, they're around and they're hitting the wall on the other side. So it's nothing to be trifled with. It's definitely something to work up to. I find those areas of the track very enjoyable because I know how to drive them. That doesn't mean everybody should be going full throttle through there.
Now, so we have a wide variety of cars at this track, at our event. We have mid-engine, we have front engine rear drive, we have front wheel drive, we have high horsepower, low horsepower. What would be your optimal car to run here? And don't say MR2 or Opel GT, whatever you do, don't say this.
Well,
27
I think
minutes.
the Boxster handles incredibly well, and it's a different car to drive than, say, Nathan's BMW, which is also an absolute joy. It's just the best car to drive is the one that's so fast that it's probably leading the race. Because the car that's leading, or if you're in second place or whatever, the car is working so beautifully. You can do anything. You can easily pass people going into the braking zones. The car you can take it anywhere. So for me, I've raced a variety of cars out there. The Boxster was a lot of fun.
I think any of the mid-engine. I haven't driven a Boxster yet. I'm going to get in one of those soon. But yeah, we have a big collection of cars that should do really well, really, really well. Though I am missing the Opel GT. I think we had one there a couple of years ago. So, of course, it was a lot faster than your typical Opel GT. And I'm going to say that many times there, folks. Keep drinking.
Yeah, we've had Looney Tunes went out here before, which is a Fox body. So Bandits is bringing their Pontiac out. I'm going to be really interested to see how Bandits car performs on this racetrack, what those lap times look like. We know GBU is going to be wicked fast, so there's not going to be a lot of mystery there. So this is it's going to be great. So very much looking forward to Road America this year. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. By the way, I think the easiest corner is turn 2. I mean, if you really want,
you're right.
I think turn 2 is the easiest corner on the racetrack.
I got all screwed up over that because I kept saying turn 2, and you're like,
4 is pretty easy too.
It goes 1 to 3. What's going on with that? Did that used to be a turn or something, or is it just? It's
a flag station. So every flag station gets a turn number. So
you're cresting, you're heading downhill. I guess they felt like they needed to. Maybe they put somebody there. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, good stuff. I look forward to tuning in and watching from afar. It's Road America is just one of those classic, iconic. How many other adjectives can I use? North American racetracks, and when you go
I'm going to go through the driver list here. Who's showing up this weekend? Let me look here real quick, and I saw Winker. Yeah, Resilience Racing is showing up with Brian and John Winker. Let's see, Black Pearl Racing, Jason Perlow there. He's been racing with us for a long time. Who else here? The Gloss. I can't even pronounce some of these names. It's like they're all like Germanic names. Mm-hmm. Why is that up there in Wisconsin?
Well, come on now.
The home of melting pot.
The home of the bratwurst.
It is. I just can't pronounce half these names. I'm looking for Paul, real quick. What is Angie Johnson, David Johnson, Larry Frank, and Nathan Gardner will be in Premium Dudes. Yep. So that's a good one. Oh, well, Ryan Eversley Jim Matthews and Bill Riley will be driving the good, bad, and the ugly. Eversley's pretty quick, isn't he? You had him on the show here one year for a while, didn't you? Eversley at Road Atlanta, I think it was.
Oh, did we interview him? You're asking me?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Yeah, they're the guys that do Dinner with Racers, right?
Yeah, Ryan's a fantastic race car driver. Yeah. So.
And I'm just looking for any other big names. I saw, where is he? Oh, yeah, Stephen Cox. He'll be driving a Gorilla sticker. Cox is pretty quick, man. We've had him on the show here before. He's the announcer, one of those media guys that also races. Or is he a racer that's also a media guy? I forget.
I think most of us have a real job, and then we do this for fun. Yeah. Stephen has done quite a bit of work with Meekum Auctions. And, he's raced with Gorilla Sticker on multiple occasions. So he knows those guys. He knows the car real well. And he's going to be solid out there.
Very cool.
And I'm just for more drive. We have a lot of teams here. Some of these teams, like Parts Badger, Roy, and Roy brings a really well prepared car. The CU guys, they've got a lot of students. They're like one of the biggest jump car programs or endurance programs in the country, I think, from what we hear.
As far as number of participants?
Yes, their teams are huge. They have tryouts just to be on their teams, not just the driver's side of it, but just for the participation in the car building.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's huge.
Nice.
Two Brothers Racing will be there with Greg. I was talking with Greg earlier today. He was asking about the Flagtronics firmware updates. And we're still working on some of that. So just make sure you just update either to the Champ Car firmware, which is on your choice of drop downs for the organization, or just do the generic one, the one that Chelsea put out there. Either one will work fine. So, but in the future, you're always going to want to check the Champ Car one. So,
if you're going to be live streaming this weekend from your car, feel free to send me a link. There's a form on the website that you can fill out that not only sends me the link, this would be a YouTube link to your channel. There's also kind of a questionnaire there so that we have a little bit of information about your team. So make sure you've put some bio information in there so we can bring that to the viewers as well. It just helps with, kind of bring your team into the light. There's so many stories in Champ Car, and that's one of the main things about the show is we really want to bring the series and the drivers and the teams and their backgrounds. We want to bring that, to the public, to everybody to enjoy. We're kind of going through and picking out some of the drivers we know, but there's probably a lot more drivers with an incredible experience and experiences that we don't know about.
Yep.
And so that's the kind of thing we want to know. That's the story is really what makes it interesting. If you've ever seen The Last Chase, which is an old Lee Majors movie, and it's the United States has stopped using oil, and they've banned cars. But Lee Majors is this old Can-Am driver. He's got a race car buried in his garage, and he finds out California is going back to the hills, and they're going back to using oils. And so he puts his race car back together in his garage.
Definitely
and drives
fiction.
Across the country to get to California. And I don't even know where I'm going with this.
I don't either, but I'm enjoying the story.
Does mayhem ensue, and does he become a $6 million man?
I was talking about stories and how rich the stories are. And I know what it is. He's out. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where he's just out driving on the racetrack alone, and it's always comes back to me how terribly boring that would be. What we need all you guys. We need all these drivers. I'm looking to my left because I've got the roster over there.
Yeah.
It's the stories and the teams and the drivers. It's everybody that makes this sport so rich and so much fun and so enjoyable and worthwhile doing. So let us know about your backgrounds and your history and everything, even if you have to repeat it. We're getting old, so you have to tell us more than once.
I don't get to join you guys as often as I'd like to on the broadcast, but with 8 hours to fill, you know, we can blather on about, you know, this car is an in car, but when we can blather on with and sound slightly intelligent doing it, it's better for everybody, your announcers and the people at home. So I absolutely feel your pain,
Yeah, it's
Paulie.
great to be able to comment about, you know, the driver's Troy Trulio, and he's only 4'6", and yes, he has 4 pillows under him, and but his wife loves him, and his kids love him, and they're not much taller. So it's great to have that kind of information about your teammates.
I'm sorry, Troy.
You know, he's not listening.
I know, but I'm vertically challenged too, and I feel a little triggered by this discussion.
And he is a little taller than 4'6", but not by much.
Okay, all right.
No,
so
let you guys know.
So there's 43 people in the chat, and only 14 have hit the like button. Maybe they're waiting for the big news before they hit the like button.
Waiting for the big news.
Yeah.
So the big news is, you know, we're gonna do a 36-hour race on a 1/8 mile dirt track. Didn't you guys do that one time, Paul?
Yeah, well, I think, but this time we're doing on a figure 8, which is really
figure 8.
car.
I'm joking, by the way.
Chelsea just went. Ah!
We're serious. We're not going to do that. But yeah, you did that one time, didn't you? You were part of a team from the R-Bank guys that did some sort of endurance run.
Yeah, we did a grocery getter challenge here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was not a dirt track. It was a paved oval. It was a 24-hour race, oval race, which we learned 2 very important things.
Yeah.
First, we absolutely annihilated like 30 sets of tires. Second, it's amazing how long it takes to burn off a tank of fuel going on an oval. The stint was like 6 hours, which you wouldn't think you could drive a Saab for 6 hours straight. But that's what my memory tells me. Nathan, tell me if Nathan wasn't there, but Andrew Johnson was there. Yeah, it was insane, the amount of time it took to run down a tank of fuel. But the tires, we left the track and there were piles of tires. Like, I talked to the owner, the track manager, about a month later. He said, I got to figure out how to get rid of all these tires because there were so many people just left tires.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why they didn't take them with them, but yeah, he had a problem on his hands.
Hey, somebody just said something about pit assignments. Didn't Chelsea send out the email, the final email?
I don't know. I wouldn't get those, but you can check that out. But that is not the big news, by the way, folks. So it's not just clickbait.
That was just clickbait. No, the big news is, so for you folks that I know we've had a bunch of them over the years. Let me bring my screen back over here so I'm looking at something. Over the years that, you know, Champ Car developed our own registration system back in 2009, 10, something like that. And it's been here forever. And what you see is that what you're using now is the constant tweaking and building to get it to work for us. Well, we're to the point now where we actually have to upgrade our systems. The internet has moved on. Our system has not. So we are, as of 2025, Champ Car will be moving over to MotorsportReg for all of our registration system and accounting and all that. You know, basically the whole full race management, which we're all really excited for. We had a big talk with WRL and those guys, and they love it. It works for them, and they developed it for teams. And that's exactly perfect for us because that's what we've been waiting for, something that we could do teams with. So, like I said, January, or actually, the last race we will use our existing registration will be Sebring, but we will open up November 1st, MotorsportReg for registration for Road Atlanta. And what's the next race after that? VIR and Harris Hill. So those 3 races we're going to open up pretty quickly. We'll probably start with one race and make certain that everything's working right for us and everything, and get our staff completely trained on real world circumstances. We're going to have training for the next month to get all this done, but you know how real world is. It's, you know, you can go through training, but then you have an issue. So Paulie, we got you signed up for it today. You followed some simple instructions. Just basically go to, if you've already got a MotorsportReg account, go to it. Go to your, let me look for that chat here real quick, because I gave you a real quick.
Yeah, you go to your account and there's there's an organizations then that shows up on the left. You click on your profile first in your account, and then there's organizations on the left. Then you're going to get a big list, and you're going to scroll. You're not going to see it alphabetically because you have to go by that list, and then there's another list beneath it that's even more exhaustive. That's where we're at.
And we're in Champ Car Endurance Series. It's right in there. You know, you can do Control F, Champ Car, and it should be able to find it in your browser. So go ahead and add that to your list. A couple of big benefits of it is that, you know, we've had complaints over the years with our membership fees is that you can't renew your membership early. You have to wait till it's exhausted. We can't, you know, email. You don't get an automatic email saying, hey, you know, your membership's expired. So all this changes with MotorsportReg. We're going to be able to do a lot of things there. The numbering system is going to be improved in a huge way. That's what Mike and I and Chelsea have been and Rob have been working on over the last couple of weeks is our permanent number system. And that's still confuses the hell out of me, but Mike seems to have it all in order. And we're going to have some announcements about that over the next week or so. But we really want you guys opening up a MotorsportReg account. If you don't already have one, super easy and free. You know, you don't just add Champ Car to it. We don't have any of the payment stuff set up. Once we do, then it's a matter of just making sure all your payments are up to date. Now, all of your current memberships will transfer over, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks, getting everybody in the system and their membership dates updated. So if you've already paid like 2 weeks ago, it will still be good for a year.
One of the features of MotorsportReg, and I don't know if you guys are going to unlock this right from the start, but they have a fantastic feature on being able to text teams and drivers and all participants through the race weekend. And you can use that mid-race for updates if you chose to do it. There's lots of powerful reasons and ways to use it. I don't know if your current system has a feature like that, but it is really cool. We use it a lot for that throughout the race weekend. And I could see a ton of reasons to use that during an endurance race to send out, you know, updates to everybody. So whether you unlock that right away or whether you get that a little bit down the road, that is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful features that comes with MotorsportReg.
Yeah, that, and I think we hit a button and it goes bing bong right before you send it.
I don't think it does that.
Oh, okay. But extra feature. No, we will be using the texting and the email features during race weekends, so that will help out a lot. You know, like, hey, everyone, you have 10 minutes before Ray is done, and we have to get Ray fed, so you need to get through tech now, things like that. Yeah. So we're going to make it fun. Of course, what are you supposed to say, Paul, whenever you send a text out to somebody? You know, fees may be encountered. Isn't that how you...
Text messaging rates may apply, and
something like that.
So for anybody who doesn't have unlimited texting in this day and age, I don't know who.
Is that a thing? Not having unlimited texting?
Maybe on like the you know, old person cellular network that they sell with AARP.
You mean my old phone right here?
Exactly. Yeah. So and I joke about I'm an AARP member, so don't no yelling at me in the chat.
Oh, for the email. Yeah. Oh, or you fell for the mail. Don't do it.
I did.
So Bill.
I did.
John Whitnauer has an excellent question.
I saw that.
Oh, that too.
I would love to tell him what track we're going to be at.
But we don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we're still throwing ideas around.
I have put in my bid. I'm pushing, as they say, for Road Atlanta. And you can too. Write your congressman at Champ Car and tell them we need to do it at Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
Somebody said Gingerman, which is pretty funny, but
I actually thought that was brought up by somebody that's
last week, I think.
A lot of places. And I thought that was interesting. That's something different. I don't know. How do you think the high horsepower cars would fare there? I mean, it's not, you don't really have a huge area for the cars to really accelerate other than that back straight.
Yeah. I've been passed by an 850 horsepower Porsche when I was driving my little Datsun Roadster, tooling along, thought I was doing great, going for fourth gear. you know, it was a bit demoralizing. I was a bit emasculated, if I'm honest.
Until you hit the corner?
Yeah.
And you didn't?
No. There was a classic Mustang out there almost smacked going into 11 because, wow, he started braking back in 1983 before we got to that corner. But I don't know. Seems like the track's a bit small for, trying to hold a national championship.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know what the big problem is, though? I don't have the bandwidth. The bandwidth is rough for me to run a show from there.
That's true. That is
so
very.
If we can let's just go back to Road Atlanta.
I do like Road Atlanta, but the problem is Road Atlanta, the date, there's a chance of, 10 feet of snow or 80 degrees. So that's a hard.
Very rarely do we have snow out there. That's ridiculous.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, but that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
We've done 15 years out there. We've had 2 bad days.
I know.
Daytona's
another one, but Daytona favors a certain type of car. So, I don't know. This is something that Mike and I are just tossing around every single day, and we can't come up with a solution just yet. The overall solution
I can help.
NCM is the fallback because it's centralized and, it's still a decent track. I don't know. We'll know in a week or so. I just while you guys are out doing Road America, I'll be at home just twiddling my thumbs until I'm told to do something for this wedding.
Write your congressman.
That's right.
And
don't leave it in the hands of the judges. No, it's just like wrestling.
I mean, we could just leave it till Sebring New Year's Eve the following. That gives us 12 months to even think about it. So I don't know.
I get it though. Now, Paulie makes his decision based purely on bandwidth.
He does. Oh, we all do.
It's all about bandwidth.
You don't know. So you don't know the struggle that Paul had at Pittsburgh.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, it sucked at first. We sorted it out, and we were able to do a very good show. But that first 20 minutes was like, oh my god. So somebody mentioned about CTMP going back to racing at Mosport in Canada. I have been doing, just so you know, I've been doing some research on our company going back to Canada. We think we might be able to do it. Mosport and Calabogie are some of my favorite tracks. Shannonville as well. Not really my favorite track. Shannonville's not my favorite, but it's a fun track to race on. But
we're not racing there because it's your favorite track, Bill.
Calabogie, no, it is one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, but that's not why we'd be going there.
But it wouldn't be this year. We still have to make certain that we're allowed to do it, and can we get enough Canadians to do it? Because we don't know how many Americans will can go across the border now, and we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. Hell, a lot of people might be going over there anyway, so who knows?
Yeah.
But see, John makes a good point. You can't upgrade your car. It's that whole the rules upgrade. You can't do anything until after you run the championship race, and so when you stretch it out, and it's March, and so come on.
But there's not a bunch of upgrades.
The only nail it in February and move on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll know more this week. All right. NCM. Oh yeah, they had tornadoes there too. Oh yeah. No. They did have tornadoes. They were fixing it They're fixing everything up from that. But yeah. So Canada, we're still looking. We're still trying to figure out if we can, and we'll let you know. We're also, a lot of folks commented about Indianapolis. Couldn't do it in 2025. We're going to look at 2026, and it'll be about every 4 or 5 years for that guy, which we're on track to do that now anyway. So, so keep it special. All right. Smash that like button, subscribe so we can you can get notified when we go live again, which is every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I think that's about it on my side. MotorsportReg, if you have an account, please go assign yourself Champ Car, and we'll start approving people and getting you set up for the 2025 season.
When you do go back to Indianapolis, I need a ride. It's raceannouncerbrian@gmail.com.
Well, at Indy, it's usually all hands on deck and for shows and stuff. So Paulie probably needs some help sitting alongside there. So we'll see about that. Tiffany and you and him and
So,
of course, Paulie will put you on pit lane, and I'll let you know how that works out.
I'll be happy to be on pit lane. It makes it easier for me to pop in the car for a couple of stints.
No, Doc would send me down to pit stall 1, and then, hey, such and such okay, go talk to pit stall 38.
I'll wear my running shoes.
Yeah,
or Brian can produce, and I can walk down pit lane. We can trade off if we need to.
We could take turns.
Yeah,
I think Brian knows how to run a show, so
I could press some buttons.
All right, Paul. You remember? No, Paul was up there just laughing his ass off while I was like dying down there.
I'm gonna get there eventually. And,
that's because it was funny. It wasn't just that. It wasn't your misery that brought about the laughter, although that was part of it.
I'm sure
it was part of the hand signal too, right? Yeah, the hand signal through the window.
That day.
Did you give him the old willpower salute?
No,
he did not.
I gave Tiffany a radio, and all right, we'll be able to communicate off channel through these radios, and I would, and she would just, I don't know what she was doing, but she was not pressing the button to talk. So that just frustrated me so bad, and that made Doc laugh so bad.
I love it.
So yeah, it was fun.
All right.
But yeah, all right. Road America this weekend, and we're back home for a couple of days, and then off to Atlanta Motorsports Park in Georgia, and we're going to be doing a lot of racing there over the next 2 weeks. So just got informed today, and I'll be updating the subs tomorrow. Thursday, 5:00. You guys can bring your trailers in and set them up. And
that's for this Road America weekend?
Yeah. No, this is Road or AMP. Yeah.
AMP.
Atlanta
Okay.
Motorsports
Okay.
Park. Yeah. So
cool.
But yeah. All right. Again, sign up for MotorsportReg, please. That'll help us in a huge way and get us going on this whole transition. Our system will work until December 31st, or until the race is over at Sebring. And then November 1st, we'll open it up for the first race, at least Road Atlanta. And I don't know how many more Mike wants to open up, but we'll get that going. And then also for memberships as well. So, all right, guys, that's it. Brian, for me. Paul, you got anything?
No.
Yeah, I think Andrew's side said that the links for the pit stalls those links aren't working on the website. So I guess that needs to be like that.
Oh, the website itself. Yeah, I'll go through her. I don't get those until she sends out the email. I get them, but I don't put them out until she sends the email. Let me see if she sent out the final email, and I'll update that tonight, guys.
Cool.
So there you go, guys. That'll get jumped on. So
awesome.
No, it's going to be a great race weekend. I'm very much looking forward to it. And the season's not over. There's still some teams that are vying to get in that championship race for get into the show. And remember, you need to be like around that 13-point range. If you're struggling down in the 14, 15-point range, you got a good chance of being bumped. So, yeah, you want to. This is the time. This is make or break to make the championship. So, if that's important to you. I don't know why it wouldn't be. You want to make sure and do your best here in the closing races of the year.
I found the link, by the way. She did send it. I missed it. So I'll have that updated on the homepage here in just a few minutes. And back to you guys.
All right, that is going to do it for another episode of Inside Champ Car. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast. You won't miss any episodes. It'd be also great if you'd share it on your social media channels. Comment on the Champ Car Facebook page, especially if it's a good one. If it's not, put it on Bill's page. New episodes every week. He's Bill Strong and Paulie Veltum. I'm Brian Belansky. Have yourself a great week. Stay safe and go play with cars.